Howdy, Haywire Willy here. The following video discusses common phrases that a dang dumbass will use, then explores what's wrong about the expressions and how they were used. We're fortunate enough to be joined today by my good buddy and a true Alaskan wild man, Mr. Mark, who joins us from the far north and shares his opinion about the creators of the following specimens of popular fiction too. Let's begin with shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you'll be among the stars. There's little doubt that the author of this here saying had no dang knowledge of the physical realities of space, for to land among the stars can be finding oneself in a void trillions of light years from the closest planet or star. So basically, it's a right delicate way of saying that if you miss the moon, that you'll die a horrible death all alone in the vast empty reaches of outer space. Hardly a motivating thought to some. What's your thoughts about the author of this one here, Mark?
Dang dumbass!
I could care less. Alrighty then. This mind-numbing saying leads one to strongly suspect that the person responsible for it either slept and or was heavily medicated throughout their school years. You see, saying, I could care less means that you actually care, and because you care so much, you're capable of caring less. What the intellectually challenged dimwit actually meant to say was quite the opposite, which would have been something like, I could not care less. What about this one here, Mark?
Can you say dang dumbass?
Never give up. Wow, yet another brilliant example of something that sounds really good and noble, but that's actually really bad advice. You see, it's all great and stoical to continue doing something long beyond what's reasonable when it comes to things like love and gain, but even then there comes a time to move on, or there's a real good chance that you'll be talking to the police about stalking and such. When people never give up on something, it's a thing called perseveration, a psychological condition that's typified by someone erasing something that's written onto a piece of paper and then continuing to erase long after the paper and the eraser have been worn away. Your thoughts on this here saying, Mark?
Like I was saying, can you say dang dumbass?
I don't give a rat's ass. Okay, this here saying's one of those WTF ones because I sure as hell hope there ain't people out there running around handing out rat asses. I mean, what kind of a creep collects and distributes rodent anuses to begin with? And what in the tarnation are folks doing with them once they've been given to them? Now, not knowing, my advice to you and other folks is therefore to strongly avoid anyone who comes around looking for or is giving away rat asses. How would you rate this brainiac, Mr. Mark?
One more time, can you say dang dumbass?
It takes more muscles to frown than to smile. This often used and abused biological blunder sure as heck didn't come from anyone who knows a lick about human anatomy. Why, just an itty-bitty smile takes about 10 muscles to raise the upper lip and corners of the mouth, whereas a small frown takes only 3 muscles to drop that lower lip and the corners of the mouth as well. So the next time that you hear someone saying something about that there, choose to facially go with the path of least resistance. Now, if you had to sum up the author of this one with just one word, Mark, what would it be?
Dang dumbass!
There's no use crying over spilt milk. What fabulous brain flatulence this gem is. It's right the heck up there with suck it up, buttercup. You see, regret's a vital learning tool. If folks don't experience and express sorrow over a painfully learned lesson, the likelihood of them doing the same darn thing over and over again increases tremendously. Crying also provides a physical release for emotion, something that's very important to maintaining some degree of mental health. In your opinion about this saying, Mark?
Are you the dumbest of those dang dumbasses?
Low man on the totem pole. This saying about magnificent carved wooden works of art is generally thought to mean the figure at the bottom of the totem pole is the least important, which proves that the adult who used this expression in that context didn't know a damn thing about indigenous peoples. The truth is that the totem figure on the bottom of a pole is generally of the most respected person or animal, so the bottom figure is typically the largest, most prominent, and the most detailed of them all. And as such, it was carved by a master carver or carvers for the first 10 feet or so, and then by apprentices higher up where mistakes would be less visible. Now, over to you, Mark.
Dumb, 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 dang dumbass!
I'm only human. This pathetic cry of self-pity had to have come from someone who somehow managed to remain totally unaware of mankind's position in the global food chain. Why, in the animal kingdom, that there sorry-ass statement's the passive-aggressive short version of, "Oh, woe is me. I merely have superior intelligence, ability, and defense capabilities, allowing me to establish and maintain total dominion over all other forms of life on this planet. Whatever will I do?" There's a word for folks like that there, ain't there, Mark?
One more time, can you say dang dumbass?
Your only limit is you. This saying sure enough sounds great until you factor in things like dangers, legal repercussions, genetic programming, geographic realities, and physical restrictions. For example, the biggest thing limiting you from becoming a grasshopper is a little matter known as biology. While many limits are mental, many are not, and disregarding that fact may and often does result in serious injury or death. Bet you can't guess where this quote came from now, can you, Mark?
Dang dumbass! How dumb can you be?
Money can't buy happiness. Well, now that there's some of the silliest stuff ever said and complete and utter nonsense. Obviously, it was written by someone a full 3 sandwiches short of a picnic. Of course, money can buy happiness. In fact, that's all the hell that money can buy. Obviously, this verbal fart came out of an asshole that has no money. What money can't buy is love, loyalty, and honesty. Pretty much all the rest can be bought and enjoyed tremendously, if the price is right. On a scale of stupid to dumbass, how would you rate this one, Mark?
Dumbass, 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 dang dumbass.
And last but not least is one of my all-time favorites. Your attitude, not your aptitude, will determine your altitude. The author of this cleverless use of words obviously suffered themselves some delightful delusions of grandeur. You see, the reality is that men ain't never going to give birth. A jockey ain't never going to be a star player on a National Basketball Association team. And a person with an IQ of 75 ain't never legally going to become a brain surgeon, no matter what the hell their attitude is. What irks me the most about this here quote is that it encourages the notion that everyone has an equal chance in this here world, when in fact most of us didn't have the good fortune to win that genetic lottery. The trick is for us all to find what comes naturally and then to build upon that. Now, what's your final thoughts on this here author, Mark?
Dang dumbass! Dang dumbass! Dang dumbass! How dumb can you be?
Well, that there sums up my first video about the wild and wonky things that people say to make themselves look and sound all intelligent and so forth, and yet that doesn't. Special thanks to my good buddy Mark for joining us and sharing his astute Alaskan insight about people with our viewers. Be sure to subscribe to my channel so that you'll be the first to know when the next dang dumbasses video is up and ready to view. You all come back now. You hear?